today on Dr. Phil. His parents call him a mooch.
He steals your stuff, you put him in jail, then bail him out. 6 times you've bought him cars.
But is the free ride over?
He hits you and left bruises.
He threatened me with a hammer and a knife.
The DA filed dismissal.
Did you sell their washer and dryer?
Yeah.
They treat me like an unwanted guest.
You know why? Because you are an unwanted guest. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
Get ready to take care of you. All this week, we've been helping family members get their moochers out of the house. Did you know that 1 in 10 Americans ages 30 to 39 live with their parents in 2023? Now that is a 50% increase from more than a decade ago. Well, what if your adult child wanted to move back in with you? And what if they came to stay, and then they just stayed and stayed and stayed? I mean, like a bad rash, they just don't go away. And not only did they stay, but they also did nothing to help out or get on their feet. In fact, if they were so comfortable, they showed no sign of ever leaving. Well, Karen and her husband Jim say they have done everything in their power to keep an unwanted intruder out of their home. Well, you guessed it, it's their 31-year-old son Kyle, who they describe as an out-of-control mooch who expects his parents to do his laundry, pick up his favorite sodas, and oh, don't forget deodorant from the market when he runs out. From begging a judge to give them an immediate eviction notice and having a criminal trespass warning served, to even installing a burglar alarm and motion detectors in their own bedroom, Karen and Jim say they've tried everything, but so far, nothing has worked. Take a look.
Kyle blames us for everything that goes wrong in his life. He never takes responsibility for anything that he does wrong. Kyle depends on us for everything: clothing, toiletries, his haircuts. Oh, when we buy him food, then he'll complain it's not the brand he likes.
Kyle wants you walking around money, but he doesn't want to work. If you give him money, it's like driving down the highway and throw your money out the window. You're not going to see it again.
Kyle does nothing to contribute to the household. No chores, he doesn't pick up after himself, do his own laundry, doesn't clean up the bathroom after himself. Kyle's supposed to be taking care of the grass, but my husband does the lawn care. He's 73 years old, and he has a pacemaker. Since Kyle graduated from high school, we have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars due to the fact that we pay for everything.
I have bought him about 6 cars.
He claims that when he gets a job, he's gonna help, but then Kyle gets a job, Kyle never pays for anything. So we have to sell the car. We want Kyle to be able to live on his own. We've tried so many attempts to get him to move out. We've tried to evict him, physically lock him out of the house, but it never helps.
As long as he has clothes in the house, the police will not allow us to evict him.
Kyle is basically a squatter. He has squatter's rights. I feel like a prisoner in my own home because whenever Kyle is at home, we can't leave.
Because if he's left alone, we won't have anything left in the house. He will steal everything we have, and he will sell it. I'm just totally fed up.
I want Kyle to get his life together, stop mooching, move out, but he's like a bad penny. You just cannot get rid of him.
Well, Karen and Jim claim when Kyle doesn't get his way, a much darker side emerges. A side they say has left them both battered and bruised. And it's left Kyle behind bars.
Kyle is verbally and physically abusive.
Kyle will get up in your face and call you a nasty name.
He'll call me a whore, a bitch. He accuses me of being a slut.
Kyle tells me, "You're dead, old man. Get out so that I can get my hands on what you owned. I'm tired of waiting for you to die."
These are pictures from one of his anger rampages. My arm was black and blue from here down to here.
I cannot leave my wife alone with Kyle because he beats her.
One night, Kyle had his girlfriend sleeping over, and there are no sleepovers in my house. After Kyle had her leave, Kyle got mad and he started choking me. My husband had to pull Kyle off of me.
These are pictures of me when my son beat me up. He attacked me and I hung on to him while he beat on me with his fist. And this all happened because he broke up with his girlfriend and he blamed me.
This is the hammer that Kyle used to threaten me. He took the hammer and came at me like this. And he said, please, when you're going to sleep at night, sleep with one eye open because you don't know what can happen. It was like his whole face glazed over. It was like looking into a dead person's face. I talked him down, he put the hammer away, but then he grabbed one of the knives and then came at me. The police arrived, they arrested Kyle, and he did 30 days in jail.
This is the alarm system. The doors are armed, the windows are armed, so if you move, it's going to set it off. The reason we put this in is not to protect us from burglars, to protect me and my wife from my son.
This needs to stop before somebody gets hurt or worse.
Okay, guys, I'm puzzled. He's living with you guys.
Correct.
Always, right?
Yes, always.
So for 31 years.
Yes.
All his life.
And he doesn't just live there, he expects you to wait on him hand and foot, right?
Correct.
And pay for everything.
Of course. And you do.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's a good deal if you can get it, I suppose. He leaves his laundry on the floor, right?
Leaves his laundry on the floor.
For you to pick up and do.
And put away.
Not just pick up, but to
do
pick
the
it up,
laundry
launder it, fold it,
and put
it
it away.
in its drawers and all that. You pay for clothes, haircuts, shoes, medication, TV.
Yes.
His
phone.
Everything.
His car, his gas, his food, we pay for everything.
Why?
Don't know.
Me neither.
I'm totally confused.
You and I are both lost. We don't know why you're doing this.
I give, because he's my son.
No, come on. Look, you and I are too old to, come on. He's 31.
Correct.
Since he was 16, you've purchased not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but 6 cars.
Correct.
You don't look like slow learners. No, really, 6 times? It's like Lucy holding the football for Charlie Brown. No, I promise. It'll be here. 6 times you've bought him cars, and 6 times he's lied to you. I'm gonna get a job, I'm gonna pay for this, I'm gonna do this. Come on.
Well, I did catch on. I just sold his car 5 months ago. I told him, he says, as long as you have your job and you're paying for your car, I'll continue with it. He quit his job. I took his car away. I sold it because my name was on there. He was speeding, just doing absolutely crazy things with the car. So I sold the car. And I haven't given him a car. He's begging me for a car, and I will not give him another one. Hopefully.
Now, y'all lived in a house, right?
Correct.
But you moved out into an apartment.
When we moved here from Nashville, we moved to the area in Texas. And before the home was finished, we had it being built. We lived in an apartment until it was being built.
Right. You moved into an apartment.
Correct.
Okay, but did he come to the apartment also?
Yes.
So you moved out of the apartment and into a hotel.
Yes.
So he was with you in the home, then so you say, no, we're moving. So he followed you there, then he was there, then you moved into a hotel. Did he come to the hotel?
No, we moved out of the apartment and into a hotel because at that time he was getting violent with us and we were afraid of him. So we left the apartment and left him in the apartment and went and lived in a hotel for 3 weeks.
Yeah, so you're out of your home, then into an apartment, then into what are you going to move next? Into your car? And then I guess you'll get in the back seat. What are you going to do? At what point is enough and too much too much?
That's why we're here. We need your advice.
Oh, okay. Look, did you guys need to come here really to know that you need to stop doing what you're doing?
I know we need to put him out, but it's hard to put him onto the street. My son is very book smart. He's one of the smartest people you've ever met, and he's very. He can talk to you, and you'll believe anything he says. Maybe not you, but most people. But to put him on the street, he's very street stupid. If I stuck him in the middle of the street, I don't know what would happen to him. In 2 days, I don't believe he'd survive.
He gets in your apartment and he sells the washer, the dryer, the refrigerator. He sells the stuff in your apartment.
That's correct.
That's theft.
Yes.
He threatened your wife with a deadly weapon.
Yes, he did.
What's your career?
I'm a retired policeman.
And later, you told your father you would move out if he would co-sign for a car.
You weren't getting on the plane unless I co-signed for a car for you.
No.
I have the text. I will watch you get on the plane and take my happy ass home to bed.
While we were waiting for our current home to be built, we were living in an apartment. Kyle came in crazed and just attacked my husband. So Jim and I left the apartment. We weren't gone more than 2 hours and found out that Kyle picked up a cinder block, threw it through the front window so that he could get into the apartment. We packed a suitcase and lived in a hotel for 3 weeks until the home was finished being built. While we were out, Kyle decided to sell my washer and dryer so that he would have cash to live on. When we finally were able to move into our new home, he showed up on our front doorstep at midnight ringing our doorbell. Since then, he found his way back into my house. I'm so sick and tired. Every time I try and cut that cord, he shows back up at home, so it gets a little old.
He hopes you die. He steals your stuff and sells it. He calls you names. He threatens you with a hammer. You put him in jail and then bail him out. What's your career?
I'm a retired policeman.
Did you take excuses from people that you arrested?
No. If the things that happened in my home and I was working and I was on the scene, I would be locking somebody up because the situation was too dangerous.
But when you threaten someone with a deadly weapon, that's serious, right?
Very serious.
He threatened your wife with a deadly weapon.
Yes, he did.
He gets in your apartment and you go to a hotel. He sells what, the washer, the dryer, the refrigerator. He sells the stuff in your apartment.
That's correct.
That's theft.
Yes.
We'll talk about him in a minute, but you have to help me understand what it is that's driving you to continue to do this.
I think on my part, I think it's hoping that he will learn to be productive, learn to get a job and hold the job.
And what are you doing to teach that?
Probably nothing.
Well, you're doing his laundry, you're paying his bills, you're giving him a place to live.
Yes.
Hell, I'd do that. That's a good deal. Look, common sense, this common sense here. This isn't helping him, is it?
No. When he was younger, he could go out there and live on his own. Now he can't. I don't know what happened over the years. Most people learn respect and responsibility as they get older. He seemed to have lost that.
Is it possible you've crippled him by enabling him and not requiring him to grow up?
Yes, I believe so. I believe that I gave him too much. I always, whatever he asked for, I always gave him. Maybe because I didn't have my life when I grew up that way. So I don't want him to want.
But now he's bleeding you dry.
Definitely, very much.
Yeah, I related this because I've got a son this age. Robin and I have raised 2 boys. The one on the left is the age of your son. I couldn't keep him in the house if I held a gun on him. It's not natural. You understand, at 31, it's not natural. You have a good-looking, intelligent young man for a son. He's very smart, right?
Very smart.
He went to nursing school?
Yes, he did.
And what did you do while he was in nursing school?
I sat in the parking lot to make sure he stayed in school.
Every day?
Every day.
All day?
All day, 8 hours a day, read books.
Despite Kyle's being lazy and being a mooch, he does have a nursing degree, only because his father and I rode him every step of the way.
I drove him to school every day, and I sat in the parking lot where I can see the front door and the rear door to make sure he didn't leave. I went there for 9 months. I should have got a degree myself because I was there every day.
Kyle was very good at what he did when he was a nurse, but unfortunately, he always winds up taking the wrong path and undermining himself.
I did get in a little bit of trouble with my nursing license.
Kyle's suspension was due to the fact that he got locked up for stealing drugs from one of the nursing facilities. But all those charges were dropped. But then he wound up getting a drunk driving, and he was put on suspension for not reporting the drunk driving to the nursing board and for all of the drugs. When we moved to the state of Texas, Texas wouldn't accept his nursing license because of the fact that he was on probation. Because of that, Kyle blames us, saying we should have stayed in the state of Florida until his license could be cleared again.
There's no reason for him to move. They could have waited 6 more months. If I could work as a nurse right now, the fact that they've had me arrested so many times for violence, those charges would definitely affect my license. If they didn't care then, they don't care now.
I'm so sick and tired of listening to Kyle's excuses. At this point in life, move on.
Every day, all day, you go to school and sit in a parking lot to make sure he stays in school.
That's correct.
Wow.
If he didn't go, Kyle, a couple times we allowed Kyle to drive himself. Kyle didn't go to school. So to make sure that he would go, Jim drove him.
Well, Kyle's here, by the way, and he says not only should his parents be doing more to help him get on his feet, they need to realize they are to blame for his failure to launch. We'll meet him after the break.
At home, my parents treat me like an unwanted guest. Shelter, food, and clothing is something that should be provided for a child. My mother made up a story that I was going to attack her with a hammer.
I was right here, she was over there, and I was talking like this.
No, I would never attack my mom with a hammer.
And later, why do you keep living at home?
Where am I supposed to go?
You're supposed to create a place to go. You're 31 years old.
Oh, it's okay to get off work and find out that you don't have a place to go at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's normal.
There's nothing normal about this. Now, Karen and Jim claim their 31-year-old son, Kyle, is a violent moocher who they are desperate to evict from their home. Kyle says he wants his parents to stop playing the victim and start helping him dig out of the hole they put him in. Take a look.
My parents are basically undermining my life. Instead of trying to help, they derail it or do stuff out of spite. They're not helping me get on my feet and don't care if my life falls apart. My parents take care of the basic necessities, but they want my soul back in return. They want to own me. Shelter, food, and clothing is something that should be provided for a child. Whenever my parents loan me money, they expect to be paid interest. They should let me save my money instead of constantly trying to take it. Right now, I do not have a car because while I was locked up, my father sold my vehicle. I need a car to be able to support myself, but he won't even co-sign for a car. My father is basically crippling me.
This is my bedroom. This is one of the places I'm confined to.
My parents act like I'm some sort of deranged, aggressive psychopath. At home, they treat me like an unwanted guest. They have gone through great lengths to try to get me out of the house. One time, my mother made up a story that I was going to attack her with a hammer.
I was right here, and she was over there, and I was talking like this. Me yelling and screaming, I talk in my hands. So as I was talking, I was shaking the hammer.
This situation was insane. No, I would never attack my mom with a hammer. Another time, my mother was taking me to go get blood for cash. On the way home, we got in an argument. She was calling me a worthless piece of that she should have had an abortion. The only thing that I did was hit the dashboard. I was the one being assaulted, not her. My parents have cried wolf to the cops so many times that they actually feel bad for me. All I want to be treated is like a son. I want to be treated like a member of the family, not like an outsider.
All right, Kyle, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I've been talking to your parents before you got out here. Actually, I've been talking to them about you. Mm-hmm. I've been talking to them about them. Mm-hmm. You're 31, right?
Yes, sir.
Why are you living at home?
It's been throughout my life, there's been a lot of step forwards and step backs, taking step backs. I had a nursing license in Florida, and yes, I was put on a probationary period for that. But at the time, they wanted to move to Tennessee. I told my parents that at the current time, I had to finish out my probation, which was like 6 months to a year left on.
How old were you?
24.
Right.
And
how is that their problem?
Well, I was living with them at the time.
But you're an adult at 24. You're an adult. What's that got to do with where they move?
Well, if your son is asking for, 6 more months to stay in the state, to complete out of probation, then to move, I mean, wouldn't you help your son? Or would you uproot him and say, you don't know what you're talking about, take them to Tennessee, hire a lawyer, have the lawyer tell you the same thing that your son was telling you?
Well, I wouldn't hire a lawyer. I didn't get into trouble. You got into trouble.
Yeah.
What'd you do to get into trouble?
The trouble was actually it was a multitude of things. One was failure to report a charge.
A DUI?
An arrest. This thing called the Sunshine State Law, where you have to report any kind of arrest.
Right.
At that time, I told them I should report this arrest, and I was told that I didn't have to under the advisement of the lawyer that we're going through.
But he didn't give you the license.
Okay. And I was told...
The nursing board gave you the license.
Yes, sir, and I was told to follow his advice.
But he didn't give you the license.
Okay, but if
The nursing board gave you the
Yes,
license,
sir.
and you accepted the license with the rules and regulations associated with the license. And they said, if you have problems with the law, you have to report it, because if you become an impaired professional, then we have the right to suspend your license.
Yes, sir.
And you didn't do that. Don't
sir.
care what he said. Your deal was with the licensing board.
Yes, sir.
What's that got to do with him?
At the time, I was living with him and with my father.
Why?
Because of the issue that happened with, I wasn't able to work as a nurse.
So when you got your license suspended for misconduct, you moved in with your parents.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so the reason you moved in with your parents is your responsibility, not theirs.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how is anything that happened after that their responsibility? You're the one that put yourself there.
Let's take a step back. I want to first say that I understand that I am a part of this problem. I am a reason that, I helped create this situation, yes. I've never once denied that. What I'm trying to say is that with me being in this situation, they're not making it any easier for me to get out.
We talked to you for an hour and a half on the phone. And during that time, you gave us a list of reasons that they are to blame for your unsuccessful life. Not helping me get on my feet, keep doing things to make my life fall apart, just taking care of my basic needs, expect to be paid back immediately, refuse to co-sign for a car, want to charge me gas money, made it hard to go back to my career in nursing, not let me save money, demand I pay for loans and bills, sold my car while I was in jail, dad doesn't give me all my bills on time, not give me my mail, can't follow up my student loan deferment, can't go back to nursing because of them, had me arrested twice, jeopardized my nursing license, put me so far in the hole I can't get out. 26 of these things. Mm-hmm. Not one of them was, I created a problem for myself. You gave me 26 reasons that they own your problems in life.
Yes, sir.
And in your tape piece, I wrote down some things you said. You said, shelter, food, and clothing should be provided for a child.
Yes, sir.
I agree with you 100%. That's something, let's talk about what we can agree
But
on.
I'm not a child.
Of
I
course,
understand that's where you're going with that. Yeah, I do. But
a child is 6,
Yes.
7, 12, 13. You're 31.
okay, but when your child is, no matter the age, if they hit
But
a point in
age
their
does
life
matter.
where they have to come home and they need help.
Buying you 6 cars, letting you live there, doing your laundry, listening to all these excuses, to me, is not helping you. You said on your tape, I also wrote this down, I took notes on your videotape. You said, they treat me like an unwanted guest. Do you know why?
Because of past, yeah.
Because you are an unwanted guest. Or you moved out of there,
Yeah.
you don't live there.
Correct.
So you have no rights to that place.
Except the belongings that I can't get out of there.
Can he get the rest of his stuff?
Anytime he wants.
Closed captioning provided by...
Kyle terrorizes us in our own home, so we try to keep him contained to one area of the house.
The motion detector is up here. Every open area that's in here is covered by the motion detector. You step out in any of this area, sets the alarm off immediately.
This is as far as I can go. This is the limit. Can't go past 0, set everything off.
Kyle likes to intimidate my wife and myself.
He'll get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, he'll trip the alarm. I will come out here, and 99% of the time, that's him coming out, waving his foot out or stepping out there so that he wakes us up. It's scary. I am a hostage in my own home. He's a hostage taker.
And don't you want to live? I mean, isn't it hard to get a date? At 31, you're living with your
I am
mother.
living on my own.
I mean, but you're sort of living on your own now. You're pretending to stay somewhere else so you can get a charge dismissed, but you still have things at their house, and you still go over there and come and go as you want to, and you're still spending the night there sometimes. You're really not moved out of there, are you?
I spent.
No, answer me. Don't look at them. Answer me. Are you moved out of there?
Yeah, I actually
Okay,
am.
so that is not your residence now.
No, it's not. I have a lease signed.
Okay, so their place of residence is no longer your home.
Correct.
You don't live there.
Correct, sir.
You do not reside there.
Correct, sir.
So you have no rights to that place.
Except the belongings that I can't get out of there, yes.
What belongings would those be?
I still have some clothes there. I have my actual mattress there. I have stuff there. I have paintings. I have belongings.
Okay, so you're storing things there?
About 2 weeks ago, I messaged them asking if I can get the rest of my stuff. I never heard back from them.
Okay, well, they're here now. Can he get the rest of his stuff?
Anytime he wants.
And if,
I'll
he, mess-
carry
if
it
he
there.
messaged me that, I never got that message.
Okay, well, you're getting it now. Do you have an inventory of those things?
There's things, yeah, that I'll probably have to sacrifice, but yeah.
No. There's no sacrifice here. You have an inventory of those things, so you can get those things and you can get them delivered.
I'll deliver them myself.
So you're moved out just since you got here, right? Because you told your father at the airport you would move out if he would co-sign for a car.
When was this at the airport?
You texted me a message that says that you weren't getting on the plane unless I co-signed for a car for you.
No.
I have
Show
the
me that.
text.
I have the text on my
Okay, go
phone.
ahead. I have text.
Okay, we'll bring the phone out. Is your phone back here? Okay, we'll bring your phone out and they can show us the
Okay.
text, because I'm all about facts.
And that's great. Did he explain to you that?
Did you send the text or not?
No, I don't remember saying that I would co-sign for a car, or that I would come here. I was already on the plane coming here. I mean, the main thing is we're getting way off track on.
No, I don't think we are. I don't think we are, because I think what I'm wanting to do is I want you to be on your own, because you want to be on your own. You don't want to live with your parents.
Have we talked about in the past month, twice I've had to call 911 on my father for him hitting me. His sugar would drop low. Yesterday we were out for dinner and he's screaming and yelling because his sugar dropped, but she's afraid to talk to him. I'm afraid to ask him for how he's doing in the morning. I'm afraid to talk to him because I don't know what kind of answer I'm going to get. I don't know if I'm going to get screamed at.
Yeah. Are you diabetic?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, me too. So you have to manage that, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
To me, it's, with me being bipolar, it's more of an undiagnosed bipolar.
Yeah. But you're not qualified to make that diagnosis,
No, I'm
and
not.
even if you were, you would not be objective enough to do that with a family member, because that would be unethical. Oh, you're going to have to read that. I'm flattered.
We'll give it to the older man to read it.
You're steadily making my life more difficult. I don't know how I'll ever get a car because it takes 6 to 9 weeks for the return to come back. He's talking about his tax return. You lose my blame me, then treat me like garbage, and expect someone to constantly forget and meet you at the restaurant. No, I'm done going into work. Bye. No, I'll do the show when my tax return hits so I can afford a car. You know, like how you left that letter sitting on your desk for so long? Sure, bye. Maybe you should treat and talk to me like I'm a human and not a piece of trash. You care so much, but the way you treat me, you say you care. And then we answer, okay, we're done, no more phone. And then he wrote back, but you do whatever you want to do. And I wrote back, shutting phone off now. Then he got into, admit you lost my sunglasses, 2 question marks. Going through checkpoint 3, you and I are going to sit and have a discussion. Where do I go? And I said, Annie's by gate 20, sitting at table, order me a Coke. I wrote back, when you get here, And then he wrote, and by the time Dr. Phil is about to air, before I go on, we will have a plan for me getting a car when I get back. He helped Max dismiss with my taxes, you helped get me out. If that's a problem, you let me know because I can turn around. All these places to eat and that's where you go. Of course you do. I'm not going on, you have fun going home. I'll tell you I'm hungry, so go where they don't serve but chips and pre-made sandwiches. I will watch you get on the plane and take my happy ass home to bed. Okay, I'm leaving with a driver, and this is when we arrived here.
You can't make this up.
Over the place.
You know, everybody creates their own normal, and this has become y'all's normal. Kyle insists he's not a danger to his parents, and they need to stop crying wolf. So if that's true, where did the bruises on their bodies come from? We're going to go to break, and when you get back, I'll have my happy ass right here.
Kyle's outbursts are so out of control that I wound up having to take Jim to the hospital.
He started yelling and screaming at me in the bed. Kyle started a fight with my wife. She ended up having a heart attack.
We had to call security and have Kyle banned from the hospital.
Closed captioning provided by... From filing a restraining order to having him arrested for criminal trespassing, parents Karen and Jim say nothing will stop their adult son Kyle from living in their home and abusing them. Now, Kyle claims his parents are far from perfect and they need to own their own violent ways. Take a look at this.
My parents are very fake. They try to portray them as being the perfect parents and me as this uncontrollable child. It's not like that at all. They'll egg things on. I'm not yelling at them out of nowhere. It's a response to something they did.
Kyle's outbursts are so out of control that he has no control over what happens.
Kyle come home drunk, started a fight with my wife, started pushing her around and everything, and she ended up having a heart attack. He didn't care. He never even went to visit her in the hospital.
Last May, I wound up having to take Jim to the hospital because Jim's stress level was just so high, we couldn't control his blood pressure.
He started yelling and screaming at me in the bed.
We had to call security and have Kyle banned from the hospital.
My parents are not own up to anything. It takes two to tango.
Because of the way Kyle behaves, I keep all my guns locked up. And they're all kept here, no bullets, because I'm afraid that if he gets his hands on them, he may use them. Or if he gets me super mad, I may use them to protect my life. I check the safe once a week for prey marks to see if he's tried to pry the door open.
I worry for my life because you never know which direction he's going to take when he gets mad.
I'm sick and tired of my mom and my dad crying and playing the victims to everybody. It is time for the truth to be told.
Okay, now in November of last year, you were charged with assault, right?
Yeah, real quick. It's pending. I won't discuss anything that's pending right now.
Okay, well, I'll discuss it. You were charged with causing bodily injury, family violence. That's a level A misdemeanor. Confinement, 30 days in jail. Incidental investigation report. It says that 1416 hours, dispatched to a disturbance in a parked vehicle, female advised that the male was her adult son and that he has hit her in the upper right arm 3 times, causing pain. Male was then arrested. Upon release, parents allowed Kyle to return home. And that's court's coming up March 28th, so you don't want to comment on it because it's pending, so that's okay. But that's what you called the police?
Yes.
And he hit you in the arm?
Yes.
3 times?
Yes.
And left bruises?
Yes, he did, from here to here.
In that actual
Okay.
report, I would like to state that it does say there are no visible marks on the victim nor the defendant.
And then in June, which was 5 months earlier, there was charge number 1, assault, and this had to do with the hammer situation, right?
He threatened me with a hammer and a knife.
Okay, this was a first-degree felony. Charge 2, he interfered with an emergency call because you tried to call 911. But the judge actually dismissed that one.
Correct.
Because he was coming here.
Yes.
The DA filed dismissal on this because I moved out of their house because it was a toxic environment, and that was dismissed before we got the okay to come on the show.
Okay, so the DA agrees that it's toxic for you to live together.
we get into a small argument and the cops are called. And they've been out probably in the past year 20 to 30 times.
Why do you keep living at home?
I didn't have a way out.
When they
It's a
moved
mess.
into a hotel, did you sell the washer and dryer and stuff out of the apartment?
When
That's not an essay question.
No. Look, see, you're getting, I love how you're getting, did they tell you that prior to them going into the hotel, I was at my girlfriend's house and on break from work and I came out and my car was gone? That I lost my job because of that? That because he took my car, which I was paying on, but because he took my car, I couldn't go to school and I got kicked out of school for attendance. That when they moved to their new house, they told me I wasn't allowed to come and that I had to go commit myself because I wasn't right.
Is that a yes?
No.
You didn't sell the washer and dryer?
The washer and dryer that they told me that they were leaving,
What?
that they were leaving,
Was it yours?
did they took everything else out of the house that was theirs? And
Was
left it
that your
just me?
washer and dryer?
No, it wasn't my washer and dryer.
Why? What gives you the right to sell it?
I don't have one. I get off at work at 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't have any charge left on my cell phone. Where am I supposed to go?
You're supposed to create a place to go. You're 31 years old. What's this picture here?
It was when I was locked out of my house.
Whose house?
That was my house. It was my address on my license. It was my residence.
That's what the police told him, that if we were to lock him out, he could use any means to get back in.
What's this shattered glass here?
That's the window.
Don't you have a key to your house?
No, I didn't even know they were leaving. I went to work and I called them for a ride home, and I got a call that they weren't even in the city.
So you broke into your house?
I let myself into my house, yes.
Does this make common sense to you?
Oh, it's okay to go to work and to get off work and find out that you don't have a place to go at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's normal.
There's nothing normal about this. Seriously, there's not. There's nothing normal about the way they're treating you. Not at all. I agree. I totally agree.
I'm saying it's not normal, but that's what I have to do. It's either that or was sleep outside the dumpster by work. What am I supposed to do? I get off at work at 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't have any charge left on my cell phone. I get a text from them saying that they're not even in the city.
Why are you living there to begin with? Why don't you have a charge in your cell phone? You're 31 years old.
I didn't have any other place to go. Where am I supposed to go?
You're supposed to create a place to go. You're 31 years old. You're intelligent. You've got a degree.
And I have. I've got myself out of that situation. I'm working to build myself up.
Let's talk common sense for a minute, okay? Let's forget about your parents. They're not even here right now. Just a wall here, just you and me. Does it make common sense to live in someone's home, anybody's home, and call them names or yell at them? Because you are a guest, right? Mm-hmm. At 31, you're a guest. They have no obligation whatsoever. Nobody can call Child Protective Services and report them for not nurturing you, feeding you, clothing you, getting you medical care, or whatever. They have no obligation to you legally whatsoever. If they allow you to be there, it's just out of the goodness of their heart. Mm-hmm. And if you don't like the way they do that, then you leave. And if you say, I don't have anywhere to go, then don't you just need to say, well, then I need to get along?
Yeah, I agree with that, but if somebody's going to get along, or if a family is going, once again, a family is going to get along, there has to be a family dynamic. There has to be that relationship. This family does not have that.
Let me ask you one question. Your paycheck was for close to $1,000 a week and a half ago. You're broke. Where did the money go?
It's none of your business.
It is when he was calling us up to borrow money.
This is, oh my God, you people. Look, I'm going to bring in some reinforcements here. I need help. We'll be right back. Closed captioning provided by
Nothing.
Well, we're out of time for today, but I am nowhere near done with Kyle and his parents, Jim and Karen. In fact, I need help. So tomorrow, I am bringing my good friend John Taffer from Bar Rescue in to rescue me. Here's a sneak peek.
Tomorrow on Dr. Phil, they claim their son terrorizes them.
Why the hell are you yelling at your mother?
That's what I grew up with.
No, you never did.
Can John Taffer
He can use fear to manipulate you.
My father chased me around the house with a loaded gun.
help rescue this family?
These are bruises on you. And where'd they come from?
My son.
Or was it you pushing me out of the house?
Well, you wouldn't be pushing you out of the house if you weren't there.
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. You will not want to miss that show because let me tell you, the excuses just keep on flying. But Kyle's never seen John Taffer and I elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder, so he better watch out. Special thanks to all of my guests today. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. We'll see you tomorrow.